Military Madness by Woods, here on Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, The War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman with Sharif Abdel-Qaddus.
Well, tomorrow, November 11th, is Veterans Day, the day that honors soldiers who have served in war. While the methods and technologies of war have changed over the years, over the decades, the effects of war on military veterans has stayed the same. What's known as post-traumatic stress disorder has been called many other names throughout the years. During the Civil War in the 1860s, it was called insanity or melancholia. During World War I, it was shell shock, and in World War II, it was combat fatigue. Whatever its name, the effects of war on military veterans can be devastating. An Army report found that in 2009, 160 soldiers committed suicide. Another 146 died by other violent means, such as murder, drug abuse, or reckless driving while drunk. Another 1,700 attempted suicide. Well, a new documentary about post-traumatic stress disorder is airing tomorrow on HBO. It's called Wartorn, 1861-2010. And it chronicles the lingering effects of war on military veterans throughout American history, from the Civil War through today's conflicts in Iraq and Afghanistan.
Particularly disturbing feeling someone's heart beating from inside their body. I still wake up with horrible nightmares from that sometimes, crying and scrubbing my hands trying to get blood that's not there off.
I don't want to talk, I don't want to eat, I don't want to sleep, I don't want to move. I just want to sit in a corner and just be a vegetable.
When I came back, it was paranoia, a lot of paranoia, emotional detachment. You know, my spouse and I, you know, like, have basically grown apart.
Some things you just don't want to remember. You block them out. And I've been blocking it for so long.
I couldn't pinpoint a direct day where it'd be like, oh yeah, that happened and that's what caused it. I couldn't do it. I just know that it's not the same anymore.
Never in a million years did I ever think that I would lose my mind.
That was a clip from the new film Wartorn, airing on Thursday, Veterans Day on HBO. John Alpert is co-director of the film, 15-time Emmy winner and co-founder of our former home, the Downtown Community Television Center. He joins us here in our new studios along with Matt O'Neill, who produced the film with John. And joining us via Democracy Now! Video stream, two parents who are featured in the film. Cheryl Softich joins us from Minnesota. Her son, Noah Pierce, killed himself July 2007 after serving in Iraq. And joining us from North Carolina is Chris Schurman. His son, Jason, shot himself in 2005 after serving also in Iraq. We welcome you all to Democracy Now! John, let's begin with you. Your choice for this film to focus on post-traumatic stress. Why?
This is part of a series that HBO, led by Sheila Nevins, has been making, telling about the consequences of war. We showed what happened in Baghdad, Iraq, when people get chopped up. But there are also injuries that you can't see, and that's post-traumatic stress. The soldiers are coming back from Iraq and Afghanistan by the thousands, disturbed by things that they've seen, things that they've had to do. It gets inside their heads and doesn't leave, and it's a terrible situation that for many years the military swept under the carpet, and now they're just beginning to deal with it.
And what's really fascinating in the film is that you go back to the Civil War and somehow find cases of post-traumatic stress disorder back from 1861 through World War I, World War II. Talk about, how did you get, first of all, these stories from so long ago?
Yeah, most of the film is comprised of these strong personal narratives that tell the stories of service members in all these different wars. And the thing that's remarkable is you hear the words and the feelings of a soldier in the Civil War reflected in the words and the feelings of a soldier in Iraq or Afghanistan. And I think the takeaway as we researched all these different stories was that these behavioral and mental health issues are an inevitable part of combat and an inevitable part of war, not something that we can ignore.
And you speak with two, well, James Gandolfini does some of the interviews in the book, The Star of the Sopranos, in the documentary. And he, in one scene, is speaking to two Army psychiatrists, and one of them seems to say that post-traumatic stress disorder affects every soldier in war.
Yes, there was a Medal of Honor when there was the premiere of this film was at the Pentagon. And there was a panel afterwards, and if people want to see this, if they go to HBO.com, it's a very interesting panel discussion, and it featured a Medal of Honor winner. And he looked at all the generals. He says, okay, some people say it's 10% post-traumatic stress. One of the generals says it's 30%. You know, and I know it's 100%. Anybody who engages in warfare is scarred forever.
Ray Odierno, General Odierno, you interviewed in Iraq, or James talked to him? His son was severely wounded in Iraq, and he himself said he may suffer from it, the general himself.
I think it's important that America has this conversation. The military is finally ready to have this conversation, that when you go to war, you have these consequences. We ignore these consequences for generations. Everybody has somebody in their family, came back from World War II, an uncle who behaved strangely, who suffered with post-traumatic stress, but nobody ever talked about it. We're starting to talk about it now, and we have to talk about it.
Well, two of the